Make it on your own, but we don't have to grow up. We can stay forever young. Living on my sofa, drinking rum and cola underneath the rising sun.
His budget proposal came out. It has angered a lot of people who are in, the science field, the art field, the environmental field. And, two budget cuts that he's proposing really got to me because I've been involved in both of these areas. National Endowment for the Arts and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. They are set to be eliminated if President Trump's budget proposal is approved by Congress, because I do believe that you need congressional approval in order to make this happen. And it's especially scary when there is a Republican-controlled Congress. So my hope is that things will kind of turn around, and President Trump and the Republicans will see the value of these two organizations. Especially because both these organizations, when you consider the NEA and the CPB, they really amount to a small fraction of the overall budget. I was reading in an article that the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, their worth only comes down to $1.35 per citizen. That's it. I think that the arts and public broadcasting are very vital to human expression and knowledge. Let's start with the arts. A lot of people don't have easy access to the commercial behemoth that is Broadway. You look at places like New York City, Chicago, Boston. I'm pretty sure they're going to survive the budget cuts because, especially New York City, it's a tourist destination. It is the place where, someone from, I don't know, Nebraska may think, oh my God, you know where I want to go on spring break? New York. I want to see my favorite Broadway show, Kinky Boots, or Pippin, or The Lion King. You know what I mean? So as long as New York City and Chicago, places like that, have that commercial national Broadway reputation, they'll be fine. But as I mentioned, maybe someone from Nebraska, maybe someone from South Dakota, maybe someone from Florida. Maybe these kind of people don't have that money or affordability to go to these big cities to experience the arts at its best, whether it be acting, music, dance, whatever. And that's where the value of classes come in. You look at your local high school or college or even middle school, and you may see that there's a theater department or a music department, a dance department. Maybe you have a community theater in your area that regularly holds productions. These are valuable for people who need to get experience, who have a passion for the arts, but again, can't just easily get on a plane and go to New York to see a show or to even live in New York. My God, it's like what, $1,000 a month for a closet of an apartment? It's ridiculous. So if the National Endowment for the Arts really gets eliminated by the Trump budget, then you might see that go away. You might see funding for your local public school theater department go away, or your dance department, or your music department, and we can't have that. And if we're also going to talk about the moral or emotional meaning of the arts, I see the arts as escapism from reality for some and a coherent expression of oneself for others. So, for example, you listening right now may be socially awkward. You may have a hard time communicating ideas, emotions, thoughts, etc. I certainly was like that back in school, and I'm still like that in some respects. But somehow, when you play the violin, or you are in that ballet recital, or you're singing a song, or you're acting, you come alive. You're confidently expressing your feelings, your emotions, your better self. So the arts does mean that to people, and I hope I hope the Trump administration does take that into consideration. And the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, another one of the organizations that may be cut by the Trump budget. How would education be fun without it? Like, you think about the numbers and letters that you've learned from Sesame Street. You think about important life lessons that you learned from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Barney the Dinosaur, learning about the value of using your imagination, sharing, truth-telling. There are so many basic, vital life lessons and educational things that you learn from public broadcasting. That if all of a sudden that outlet went away, well, how are underprivileged kids going to be served? because when I imagine PBS Kids programming nowadays, I think it's probably most essential to kids who, I mean, they're in families where they may not be able to afford to take their kids to a preschool or a kindergarten, but somehow they have a TV set at home. They have a TV set at home with a nice signal, maybe an antenna, and you can get that. You can get your Sesame Street. You can get your Mr. Rogers. You can get all these vital life lessons that you otherwise may not be learning at school because of lack of affordability or something. And I mean, let's also go to the news division. Let's go to PBS and NPR News. Giving you important information you need to know about the state of our country and the world without commercial influence or interruption. Like with entertainment, if you're seeing entertainment network television, well, of course, whatever. It's mindless fun, and why not exploit your need for mindless fun by serving you Cheez-Its or pitching you the value of getting a Pop-Tart? But when you just need to know what's going on in the world, wouldn't it be great to have an outlet where you just know the news, you know what's happening with our politics, you know what's happening with the economy, without some guy saying, "Hey, oh my God, do you want progressive insurance? Oh!" I mean, you contrast that with ABC News. Take ABC News, for example. The network is owned by Disney. So if there was a negative story about the behemoth that is Disney, ABC News probably wouldn't cover it because, oh my God, we don't want to upset our bosses. So boom, there's a value for PBS and NPR News. You're not having some commercial giant corporation dictate what news you should be giving to the public. And also, PBS and NPR, they do a great job with documenting historical events. Honestly, if we just look at PBS and the documentaries that they came out with about our nation's history, that help us sort of understand how we became who we are today. For example, you have the Ken Burns documentaries about the Civil War, the Henry Ford documentary. American Experience has a great documentary series about presidents like FDR, Nixon, Clinton. Just all this information that you need to know, just in case you have questions about, wait a minute, how did America become what it is today? How did our healthcare system become what it is today? How did the economy become where it is today? So all these things are what make public broadcasting unique and vital to our everyday lives. And, there are people out there reasonably angry and saying, hey, Trump should be impeached, the administration should be punished for cutting all these vital things from their budget. I'm going to try to take a more positive route here and say that I just I'm hoping and somewhat optimistic that President Trump will hear the voices from the public and maybe reconsider these things he wants to cut from his budget. So if you really want to have a voice, if you really want to show President Trump that the arts and public broadcasting need to stay in the budget, I encourage you to call up your local state representative, call up your local senator, what have you, maybe send an email saying, hey, please save the National Endowment for the Arts. Please have a voice in saving the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Be more active in your community theater. Be more active in classes. If you have just a little bit of a hint of an interest in a dance class or a theater class in school, don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed and think that you're not cool if you take advantage of these opportunities. Take advantage of them. If this is your passion, if this is your dream, do it. Show that the arts and public broadcasting mean something to our society.